basically having a prenup, an ironclad prenup, essentially gets rid of headaches and saves cost in the long term.
Big time. And it can result in a very swift filing of divorce, for instance. And I should mention where I'm licensed to practice. I practice in Maryland and in the District of Columbia, where our home office of Honest Law is. I've practiced in both jurisdictions for over 20 years, and am very familiar with how family law issues play out in court in both jurisdictions, as well as I'm able to write prenuptial agreements, according to the rules of both those jurisdictions. So, but yes, to get exactly to your point, they save a lot of headaches and a lot of costs at the end of the day. Like, for instance, in states like Maryland, where they've significantly liberalized the rules for consensual divorce, you could theoretically, without any waiting period, there used to, mind you, be 6 month or 1 year waiting periods to file for divorce, particularly in cases with children, but even in cases without. In Maryland, you used to have a 6-month waiting period. Now you have, if you have a prenuptial agreement in Maryland, you have the opportunity to literally the Monday after you and your spouse declare to each other that you want a divorce and you want it to be consensual, walk into court the following Monday and file a consensual complaint to divorce. And it can have as an attachment the prenuptial agreement. And I mean, to go to the point, as long as neither party contests any part of that agreement, it then sort of allows you to have the roadmap for the court to adopt. And, the court is not in the business of undoing the party's agreement unless there's some kind of illegality, which, I mentioned would be a case of fraud or a case where one or the other party was under some kind of duress, like, we won't get married unless, you sign this agreement as exactly as I've written it. Something like that could be construed to a threat or intimidation that could affect the agreement. But we would assist you in making sure the agreement's ironclad, so literally you could pay the filing fee in a state like Maryland, get a consensual divorce right away using the roadmap laid out in the prenuptial agreement will be how the assets are treated upon divorce. So it's really can end up saving you thousands and thousands of dollars at the end of the day.
That's amazing. And like, say I'm already married, I didn't get a prenuptial agreement. Like, if I don't have these documents, what are the recommended steps for me?
Well, and that's a good question too, because we shouldn't only talk about prenuptial agreements. In other words, there are actually also allowed to be postnuptial agreements. It's generally better, in my mind, that those be, within a year or so after the parties are married, just because, the longer you wait, the more it could be said that maybe one party or another, maybe the more of the higher wage earning spouse could be said to be, have a vested interest in the agreement being signed and pressure the other one to do it. But, it's not like the ship has sailed on these agreements once you tie the knot, as it were. You can still, I think, in many jurisdictions, and the courts will honor it, enter into a postnuptial agreement, provided that the agreement follows the same kind of steps we recommend, or I recommend at Honest Law, to be as ironclad as they can be. So the ship has not necessarily sailed just because you find yourself married on getting that done. So I mean that's important information to put out there.
Perfect. And so where can they, just to end it off here, where can they get more information about Anos Law?
Oh, we we try to post frequently as we can on social channels. LinkedIn is a great place if you already have a professional profile on LinkedIn. We tend to, post, blog excerpts or video clips such as these on LinkedIn and some other platforms. And then also, setting up a consultation with us. I'm generally happy to, credit a half hour of anyone's time for free to, give you a little knowledge and information about what the firm does and, do some client intake interview. It generally takes longer in a family law context, but if you're just trying to learn a little bit about the firm and bounce some general ideas off us, a half hour of my time is yours for free.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.